Hello and welcome to an NU matchup between me and IAlwaysLose101. He's a really nice guy and is an admin for the Never Use chat room on Pokemon Showdown. So let's just get this on. Shoot, sorry, ad. So I lead off with Mr. Krabs, and he goes for the U-turn, while I use Toxic so I can poison his Rhydon, which is a good predict for me. He uses the Rock Blast, which surprisingly doesn't do very much damage to me. Well, so I get up some spikes. He gets up Stealth Rocks, or I'll get up Stealth Rocks. Sadly, I don't have any defoggers on this team, but his Mantine, as you revealed to me later, has defog. So that kind of worked on his part and my part. So I switched out into my Miss Magius, or my Dead Mexican, and he switches out into his Hariyama. I used the Pain Split, and I switched out into Mr. Krabs because I knew I could take a knockoff. He uses the Close Combat, which kills Mr. Krabs, which is annoying, but I got stuff that I wanted. So I switch out into my Malamar, while he switches into his Rhydon, and I use the knockoff to get off his Eviolite, which is very, very helpful. So I protected because I knew he was just gonna do something like try to attack me, but so I could get the Toxic off. So I switched into he used Roar and switched me into my Milk Tank named Milkshake. I actually have a shiny Milk Tank in Pokemon Y, which is very nice. So I switched into Calamari again so I could get superpowers off, and because it's a contrary Calamari, contrary Malamar. So he used Air Slash, which got me down pretty low, so I switched into Pork, which is my Granbull. He used Air Slash, which did a surprisingly amount of damage since I invested in special defense, and now he switches into his Vileplume, predicting the play rough. So I was like, I gotta get out of there, and I went into Satan, when he used Sludge Bomb, which did a crazy ton amount of damage. I thought I could easily take that, and it gets the poison. So I predicted a switch, and I just wanted to Hurricane because I had Compound Eye, so I can just deal some damage. And then I switched into Milkshake because he's very bulky and can easily take close combats, but he actually goes for something else. So I use the Earthquake, but he predicts that and switches into his Mantine, so I just go for the Ice Punch. It does like nothing, but yeah. So I switch out into my Miss Magius because I was predicting the Toxics. That would be very annoying on my Milkshake. But since I was already Toxic, nothing goes on, so I predicted a switch, so I nasty plotted. Then he switched out into his Hariyama, and I Pain Splitted. But it's freaking April Fool's Day, so I deal damage to me. At least I think that's what it works. I don't know. I'm new to the meta. But, so he switches into, well, his Vileplume, and because I was predicting stuff. I don't know. I lived with 1 HP, and I went all the way back up to full from a Chester Berry. And then Milkshake comes back in and takes that Sludge Bomb very well, like a monster. And then I was going to use Ice Punch anyways because it's super effective, so at least I got some damage off. So I switched into Pork, and used Scald, which luckily didn't do more than half or got the burn, which would be very annoying. So I used Play Rough, but that didn't do much. He used Sludge Bomb, which did kill Pork, and that was kind of GG right there. Milkshake and Pork were the only two things I really had to do stuff. But I got the freeze! Whoa! Then he switches out into his Vileplume, so I Iced Punched it, which was pretty good. But it didn't really matter, and then I got the Paralyze from the Effect Spore. So at this point, there was really nothing I could do but just let every single person on my team die, and then try to battle out with Milkshake. So I used Shadow Ball when I swapped into Dead Mexican, and he used the Bullet Punch and killed me, which I thought was kind of surprising, which I didn't really figure out that he was a choice scarf until that instant where he outspeed my Miss Magius. Because I wasn't really paying attention that much. So he goes into his Scyther, and then I was just like, Milkshake, go! And that does so much damage, and then I get the paralysis. So yeah, that was the end of the match. Even though I lost, it was still a very fun matchup. And yeah, it was just a pretty good battle. And plus, this is my first NU battle on this channel. It's my first Pokemon battle on the channel. I'm getting into the metagame, and I'm getting very into NU, because it's just very fun. So yeah, without further ado, goodbye.